Hey there, it's Maury. I am in the Rialta. I'm actually in Phoenix. It's a little warm. I don't have anything on right now. I've been down here for about a week. We have a family emergency that has kept me down here, and that means that projects have been kind of on hold because it's been 110, 115 degrees, and it's hard to get anything done when it's that hot. Unless you're doing something inside and you want to run the air conditioning and stuff like that. Today it's a little cooler. It rained, but man, it's muggy. The high today is going to be about 100, but I figured, well, I would at least get something started. You know, when it's that hot, your projects are limited to about 10 or 15 minutes at a time. So I've done the air filter. I've replaced some of the latches on the seats to that control like the rotation and stuff. I'm in the process of replacing the stereo head unit from the system that had been installed in here. You know, back in the day, 7 or 8 years ago, somebody put a lot of money into installing a motorized head unit with DVD and an amplifier and stuff, and basically none of that's working now. So I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to be replacing it with a 10-inch Android head unit that will fit pretty well, I think, and give me the screen real estate that I need for maps and things like that while I'm traveling. Today I'm going to be working on some drawers. I have 5 drawers in the van here, and I was thinking about bang for the buck modifications, things that will make it more functional or, you know, more durable. And if you own an RV, you know that the drawers are kind of a weak point when it comes to things that are going to last for a long time. Typically, it's because they are either stapled together or they have very thin bottoms of the drawer itself. And then if there's any water damage, or if you spill something in it or something like that, or if you overload it, that tends to start to come apart. Or in an older van like this, over time, the drawers just start coming apart anyway. I found a company online called the Cabinet Door Store, and you can actually order complete sets of cabinets if you just give them the dimensions. You can order different finishes, different types of wood. So in my case, I ordered drawer boxes. I'm going to retain the existing drawer faces and just replace the boxes themselves. And when you do this, there's a couple of things that you want to keep in mind. Is number one, it's not going to be cheap. You know, you're ordering some custom high quality items. So in the case of these, I bought unfinished, I think is this maple? Birch. Unfinished birch, but I spent the extra money to get them dovetail so that they all assemble correctly, and they're going to be very stable and solid. But the wood itself is just much more durable, and it's going to be something that lasts for the life of this van. I have 5 drawers in the van, and all in it was about $200, and I think that this is going to be a good investment in the van. And you know, with my drawers coming apart, I have a couple that are in bad shape already. It was kind of necessary for me to do something, and this way I just have something that I don't have to worry about after I get this done. Now, one of the keys when you're putting this stuff together, especially if you're replacing existing drawers, is for each set of drawers, so I have 2 sets, one stack of 2 and one stack of 3. The most important part when you replace the faces is to make sure that they all line up horizontally, so that you have the same measurement on each drawer box for where you secure the drawer face. You need it to be the same vertically also, because you want the same space between each of the faces, but it's going to be more visually obvious if they are off horizontally, because they're not going to line up. So when we start getting into this, just keep in mind that the measurements for both directions are going to be important, but especially that horizontal plane. In the meantime, let me show you, just before I get into anything, I haven't really started any of this yet, but let me show you the difference in the wood thicknesses between the old drawer that came with the van and what I just bought. So here's an old drawer, and you can see Here is the thickness of the walls of the drawer box itself. And then this little cutout here, I don't have a ruler handy, but this little cutout here is where the bottom of the drawer slides in. I would say that's about 1/4 inch. Now if we pull over the drawer, now this is 2 drawer boxes. You can see the pieces, I haven't even unwrapped it yet. But you see the dovetailing so that they slide in together. This is the drawer box bottom, and that's got to be almost 1/2 inch. And if you look at the difference in the thickness alone, comparing this notch, this 1/4 inch notch, to this, that's not going anywhere. This is super strong, super stable, and it was all custom to my measurements. I measured the existing boxes and just had them replicate them, and then I'll put the existing drawer slides on. I thought about replacing these, but I don't want to get into the cabinet and have to replace the receivers as well. So what I will do is I'll put one of these together, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and then we can start working on the rest of them. This is something I'm not going to do in one day, especially with it being warm. I mean, even though right now it's only about 90 degrees, it's still uncomfortable out here, so I'm going to have to run the van and run the air conditioning. But I wanted you to see what we were working with here. Now look at the thickness of these walls compared to the existing drawer. These are, I mean, look at that. That's 1/2 inch, more than 1/2 inch. It's probably 5/8. The packing list doesn't specify, but this is going to be a huge upgrade for very little money, and it's something that is going to last the life of the van, and I'm not going to have to worry about it again. So let's get started. Here's the first box. Now look at how substantial that is compared to the one that it's replacing. I mean, that's just, that's a huge, huge improvement. And the measurements are perfect. So on the assembly, you know, I had to spread the sides. I probably should have put the side on last instead of the back. I just had to spread these a little bit. So I think for the next ones, it'll be easier to just do the front one side and the rear, and then put the top back on, or the side. But other than that, it went together really smoothly. And then, like I said, it's really just a matter of making sure that the faces, which just unscrew. Oh, and you can see why I need to replace this. This thing is just in bad shape. Water damage. Just making sure the face is appropriately lined up on the box. Second box is assembled. I did do the front and back first this time and put the side on last. I can't really say it went together any easier than the other one. So again, probably the better way to do it, but either way is fine if you end up doing it the other way. I mean, it really didn't feel any different. Also, when you're pounding on these things, make sure that you use some sort of a block so that you don't damage the wood. You can do the final tapping like I did at the end to seat it, but when you're doing the heavy lifting or heavy pounding in this case, use a block to protect it. I think we'll stop there for now. Really, the rest of this is going to be the assembly, which I'm probably not going to do today. I wanted to get started and get a feel for how these things were manufactured and how they feel, how they look, and I just wanted to share with you what I was up to. So these are going to replace those 3 drawer boxes and these 2 over here. There's the original again. So, but I'll have to transfer the hardware from the drawer, and then the next phase will be making sure that the faces line up, and then I do the drilling and screwing and stuff like that, which I don't really want to do in the van here. So I'm waiting to see if I'm going up to the cabin or not. Otherwise, I'm just trying to keep myself busy while we deal with things here. I am going to be moving, so I'm moving into a place here in the valley in October, and then I'll have a home base with a garage where I can store things. I don't have any room to work on the van there, but at least I can prepare things and get things started, and then I can figure out where to do the install, whether I do it in the driveway here at the other house or up in the cabin or whatever. So that's it for today. I think I'm gonna clean some of this stuff up and maybe assemble the other boxes, but I hope everybody is doing well. I just wanted to touch base since I'd been kind of out of pocket for a while with the family stuff going on. I'm just not sure, you know, where I'm gonna end up for the next week or so, and I just wanted to at least put something together. Hope the noise from the air conditioning isn't too loud. That's the front air conditioning. I don't have the overhead on because I think then I would have to scream. But although it's probably not as loud as the one that was in the Heimer now that I think about it, and it's 15 years old or whatever, 17. So with that, I'll wrap it up. Hope everybody is good, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.